Prince Andrew given Royal Lodge, future warning as eviction could still be on cards if he fails one key thing. The Duke of York's woes continue to grab headlines, and his determination to remain at his Royal Lodge home in Windsor amid King Charles' intentions to slim down the monarchy is the latest chapter in the story. The King had suggested Prince Andrew relocate from his grand abode to the smaller Frogmore Cottage, which had been renovated by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Speaking about the royal property tussle, Jennie Bond, an ex-BBC royal correspondent, told OK that Prince Andrew should concede to what she deemed his brother's sensible offer and move to a property he can afford. With tensions brewing, Terry Fisher, CEO of We Buy Any Home, has commented on the Duke's tenure at Royal Lodge. Hello viewers, please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. On the possibility of Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie inheriting the residence, Terry said, while it's reported that Prince Andrew has a 75-year lease on Royal Lodge, the ability to pass this property to Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie as an inheritance isn't guaranteed. Because Royal Lodge is part of the Crown Estate, the final decision over succession or lease assignment would typically require Crown Estate approval, and possibly the King's assent. On the Duke's options, Terry added, if Andrew were to vacate the property, either by choice or by circumstances, the Crown Estate and King Charles could choose to end the lease, assign it to another royal, or even open it up for new arrangements within the royal family. King Charles, as head of the royal household, would have considerable influence in this decision. Although the King doesn't directly control Crown Estate properties, he can certainly play a role in determining which royals reside in them. This means that if Charles has alternative plans for Royal Lodge, he could prevent it from being passed on to Andrew's daughters. Ultimately, any arrangement to extend or alter the lease terms would need to be mutually agreed upon with the Crown Estate and possibly influenced by the King's vision for future royal residences. While Royal Lodge has a rich and fascinating history, much of which is tied to the life of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, recent pictures highlighted the home's state of disrepair. The upkeep of Royal Lodge, as with any historical property, is extensive and costly, the expert tells OK. Historic estates demand ongoing repairs, climate control, and specialized care to address inevitable wear, all of which are costly and time-consuming. Without the financial backing previously afforded to working royals, Andrew could find these costs a growing strain. And, as we've seen in recent photos, neglecting issues like damp or structural wear can lead to worsening problems and higher costs down the line. Terry, referring to the potential consequences of Andrew's failure to maintain the property, said, the Crown Estate may expect Royal Lodge to remain in a condition befitting its heritage status, so failing to meet these standards could lead to interventions, possibly even lease renegotiations if the property's preservation comes into question. As for the future of the royal residence, it appears that King Charles will have the final say. Terry explained, given the property's connection to the Crown Estate, King Charles could indeed influence whether Royal Lodge passes to Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. He added, while Andrew may wish for his daughters to inherit the lease, the final say over who occupies Crown properties often involves the monarch's guidance or approval. Charles has a strategic view on royal residences, and if his vision doesn't align with Andrew's wishes, he could recommend the Crown Estate consider alternative uses or residence. Historically, Crown Estate properties like Royal Lodge aren't automatically inherited like privately owned estates. If Charles envisions Royal Lodge serving a different purpose within the family, he could effectively block the transfer by aligning with Crown Estate protocols. In this way, while Andrew holds the lease, the ultimate decision-making rests with the Crown Estate and the monarchy, making future residency decisions largely dependent on the royal family's needs and vision at the time. Since 2004, Andrew has made his home at the Royal Lodge on the Windsor estate, a residence he now shares with his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson. Prior to his occupancy, it was a cherished retreat for Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. The widow of King George VI made several enhancements to the property, which also boasts a mini cottage or Wendy house named Wyberth in Bark, a gift to the late Queen then Princess Elizabeth in 1932. Even following the King's death in 1952, it continued to serve as a grace and favour home for the Queen Mother until her passing there in March 2002, with the late Queen by her side. After the Queen Mother's demise, the Royal Lodge was leased to Prince Andrew. The lease encompassed not just the main house, but also the gardener's cottage, the chapel lodge, 6 lodge cottages, police security accommodation and an impressive 40 hectares of land. Prince Andrew torn to shreds by woman who claims she is missing millions from Duke of York. Prince Andrew has been torn to shreds by a woman who claims she is missing millions from the Duke of York. A French socialite voiced her fury at Prince Andrew after he mysteriously found finances to stay at Royal Lodge, after King Charles told him that he would have to downsize to Frogmore Cottage earlier this year. Isabel de Rouva claimed that she lost more than £3 million to Andrew and his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson in a dispute over the sale of a luxury ski chalet. She told the Mail on Sunday, "I am missing millions as a result of this man." She added, "I reduced what he owed me because they told me he did not have the money. I was left with little choice. They were apparently so poor before they had to pay me, and now they are so rich." Prince Andrew has relied on funding from King Charles since he stepped down from royal life after his infamous Newsnight interview in 2019 but has now found alternative financing. However, this week it was confirmed by the Keeper of the Privy Purse, Sir Michael Stevens, that the money the Duke of York will use to stay at Royal Lodge comes from legitimate sources. Despite not officially being working royals, Andrew and his former wife Sarah Ferguson still reside at Royal Lodge on the Windsor estate, fueling a feud between the Duke and King Charles. The former home of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, Frogmore Cottage, was suggested as a suitable replacement after Andrew lost his right to taxpayer-funded security after being stripped of his royal duties. Royal biographer Robert Hardman revealed that his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, suggested evicting the prince, and she would have done so if she had lived another year. Government politicians have also demanded to know the Duke's sources of funding. Leeds MP Alex Sobel said, "Full disclosure of these funding arrangements is vital to uphold the reputation of the royal family." Prince Andrew booted out of Royal Lodge because he didn't take care of the estate. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments, and most importantly don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.